Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to do a little video talking about our managing our anxiety during crisis situations. That may include a pandemic or a natural disaster, personal financial disaster, all of these things that we are all susceptible to, whether you have an anxiety disorder or a panic disorder or not. Stay with me now. All right, thanks for staying with me now. So I know that as I'm filming this video, we have a pandemic going on in the United States, and it is causing people's anxiety to really ramp up. If you're on social media, other than, of course, YouTube, you have seen all the posts and what this is doing to people. And this is the video I'm going to do today. It's just about managing that a little bit to not get yourself into full-blown panic mode. And to be rational, but also prepared, because if you know that we are in the middle of a hurricane or a pandemic, or tornadoes are coming or an ice storm's coming, it's just not responsible not to take some steps to be prepared for it. And if you don't do a couple rational things, rational, key word there, you are going to make your panic worse down the road, and then you're going to probably be inclined to respond because you're so uncomfortable with what's about to happen that you may even lash out at family and friends who have taking it in a different direction. All of us are different, and all of us manage this kind of panic and anxiety, let's call it anxiety for now, all of this anxiety in different ways. So first of all, get your information from reliable sources, right? Go to scientists, and if it's a weather event, go to your meteorologist. I'm not saying don't get any information off of social media. There's a lot of good information on social media, but balance that out with trustworthy sources that are going to give you the right information. I don't include necessarily the media or politicians always in that category, because there's a narrative that goes along that can be distorted. And if you listen to one channel, they're going to say, you know what, this category 5 tornado that's coming through is not even going to hit anywhere near civilization. This pandemic is not as bad as you think. And then you listen to another source, and they're going to say, this is Armageddon. The world is about to blow up. Rally around your family, whatever. Get your sources from places that you trust, but balance it, check some other places too. Part 2. There is a difference between being prepared and being panicked. Whether it be a natural disaster like flooding or a pandemic or whatever, the CDC actually does recommend that families try to have a 2-week supply of emergency resources in their house at all times. That's just responsibility, folks. We're not going to be seeing these situations going away. Hopefully they're not frequently, but things are going to happen. I live in Hurricane Alley. We've had a hurricane, at least a warning, every year for the last 4 years. Guess what? We're probably getting another one this year. It's responsible for me to have some stuff here in place for if that happens, and not to be that person who runs out at the last minute and says, oh God, I have no batteries. I gotta clean out the shelf of batteries. If I had been buying batteries in small amounts leading all year long, when I had a couple extra dollars here and there, then I wouldn't have to do that. And the poor person who didn't do it or couldn't do it, maybe there's financial reasons or whatever, then they're not having to feel like they have to fight to get just a few basic supplies. So rational preparedness. The people that you see in the grocery stores right now who are buying up entire grocery carts full of toilet paper, that is not a rational response, okay? I do think it's rational for you to have a month's worth of TP, because it's a basic item that brings you comfort. It's not a necessity. We know there's alternatives to it, but it brings a lot of comfort to people, and that's kind of how we handle things in the United States. So a month's worth for your family. Why do I say a month's worth? Because if you had been checking other media sources, Besides the ones that we all go to, you would have seen that in Italy, people are being quarantined for a month. Okay? So that's a rational response. Filling up, unless you've got a family of 12 at home, you don't need a cartload full. And I actually wonder if some of those people who are doing that are not turning around and selling it on certain channels at price gouging rates, which is just plain unethical. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't agree with doing that at all. So that's thing two. Having a mindset that we know there's going to be emergencies coming more. This is not the last time we're going to deal with this. So I'm going to have a little bit of preparedness going forward from here, so that the next time this happens, I'm not in full-blown panic mode, and I'm not agitated at the people who are doing that, who are filling up their carts with toilet paper or cold medicine or Purell or batteries or whatever. So that's thing two. Thing three. So part of your preparedness is that you should also have some stuff at home to entertain you. Quarantine does not just apply to pandemics. If there's a storm going on in your area, ice storm, tornadoes, hurricane, flooding, whatever, you may be stuck inside for a while. And if you're someone like me who enjoys being outside, who enjoys playing in the garden, it's gonna agitate your tendencies to have mood issues. So I gotta have, and you gotta have, some things to entertain us around the house. And it's not gonna happen with this particular emergency that we're talking about, but what if you lose power because of the ice storm? What if you lose power because of the hurricane? So have some stuff that's not always based on electronics. Have some books, have some puzzles, have some art supplies, have some craft supplies. Things that you can do if the power was to go off. And I know it's not going to go off on this situation that we're all dealing with today. This is general preparedness for things that can happen in your area. So thinking of like indoor recreational activities. In this particular area, I would say, maybe look through what have you got around the house for stuff you haven't played with in a while. Do you like to do crafts? Do your kids like video games? Because we're not gonna lose power here. Is there a skill you've wanted to learn but you haven't had the time? Well, if you're gonna be quarantined inside, you're gonna have a little bit more time. Go on YouTube, learn how to bake. Go on YouTube, learn how to draw, something that you haven't done yet. Go on YouTube and learn how to make videos. So that's thing three, right? Having those kind of indoor distraction things. Thing four. We also, when we get, no matter how much preparedness you do, you are going to have, and I know because Carrie and I have lived through tornadoes, ice storms, blizzards, flooding, hurricanes, earthquakes, although they've been so small that we didn't feel those. And now, however this pandemic thing plays out in Charleston, we've had our share of having to deal with these. And even as prepared as we are, you are going to have those moments of panic, right? Like for me, it usually happens even, if we decide we're bunkering in, we're staying here for this hurricane, we think our chances are very good that it's going to divert off of us. Right before it hits, in that moment of it's too late to evac, I do have that little moment of panic, and it's happened every time that we've been in this situation. But I've got some good skills now. So go and watch my videos that I did on those how to manage your panic attack. Go to my mental health series, right? And my playlist and watch. There's 3 right now as I write this. We may end up doing a 4th. How to manage your panic thoughts, right? We got to use our positive self-talk. We got to talk ourselves down off the ledge. Check in with the adult family members that you live with, right? Carrie and I always make sure when we have a hurricane coming here, we make sure we're checking in with each other every day, several times a day. How are you feeling about this? Are we staying in? We bunkering in, or we bugging out? And the way we do it in our household is both people have the right to say, I don't feel safe, we're bugging out, right? You can trump the other one, but usually when we talk it through, we get on the same page. This is what we want to do. So checking in with the other adult family members can also help you in those moments of panic. So we're dealing with a possible pandemic. Well, it is a pandemic. They've said it's a pandemic right now. So check in with the other. how are we doing? Do we have what we need in the house? Do we have some extra aspirin if somebody gets a fever? Do we have some cough drops? If we don't, what are the substitutes, right? Because no matter how prepared we all are, and this happens to us too, we've been through a lot of disasters and near disasters for our family, there's always going to be something you forgot. The first year that we went through a hurricane here, I didn't realize, call me stupid if you want, I didn't realize how quickly gas runs out. And I had difficulty getting gasoline. We lucked out that they filled right before, nearby, they filled one of the stations right before the storm hit, and we went down there and we filled up. So there's always, no matter how prepared you are, there's going to be something that you forgot. And that's natural. Don't freak out if you don't have toilet paper now. Don't freak out if you don't have aspirin. Get yourself online and look at what are the substitutes, what are the alternatives. There are ways to live without toilet paper. It is a very nice luxury, but did you check the stores to see if there's flushable wipes? Because some of the stores still had those. And if not, that's okay. There's still alternatives. 2/3 of the world lives without toilet paper. Is it pleasant? Not for our standards, but you can make it through. What if you can't find aspirin? What else do you have around the house that brings down a fever? What if you can't find cough drops? Do you have some honey in the house? Maybe the store shelves still have honey, right? Thinking outside the box when you're in a crisis is one of the best skills that you can develop for managing your own anxiety, okay? We're going to get through this, folks. That's the bottom line. When you start thinking about this and when I want you to work on your positive reframing, we are as a nation going to get through this. But this will not be the last time we have an emergency. So we're going to learn. Each time you go through one, you learn from it. And so what I want you to do when we get through this is think about what are the emergencies that you're prone to in your area. You can't predict for everything. Nobody could have predicted. Some people, I guess, could have. Most of us didn't predict that we were going to be dealing with this virus pandemic. So, but what do you know is most? I live in Hurricane Alley. I know I'm going to get hurricanes. I know I'm going to get floods. So we prepare for that as best as we can. And that will also, again, back to points 1 and 2, prepare you for not getting into that panicky mode, okay? Hey folks, just wanted to insert one little piece here at the end. Filming this after I had filmed the bulk of that video, and I realized that there was a couple things in there that I didn't say or did say that it's not going to be easy to edit, so I'm going to adjust it right here. I'm actually outside doing some gardening, and as I was starting this, I realized that I had said, can't go outside. I was thinking about more the storms and not so much what we're dealing with right now with this pandemic. So if you've got a little yard, there's no reason why you can't go outside as part of this a self-imposed quarantine, voluntary quarantine. In fact, you should. A little bit of sunshine, a little bit of fresh air will actually do a lot for depression and anxiety. So that's not what I was talking about there. And the other thing was, if for some reason you are really getting anxious because you don't have a critical supply, there's something that you didn't get or weren't able to get because supplies were dwindled, don't be afraid to ask one of your neighbors. With having lived through different things like the ice storms and hurricanes, tornadoes, things like that, it's been my experience that generally speaking, the best of people comes out. You will have some people who the worst comes out, but the best of people generally comes out, and you'll find that neighbors are willing to help. We certainly keep extra supplies as part of our preparedness for these natural disasters and things like that, in the expectation that somebody around us is going to need some help. And so don't be afraid to ask and say, hey, I tried to get to the store to get toilet paper and I've got none. Can you spare a few rolls? I tried to get to the store and get some aspirin and there was none left. Can you give me a dozen aspirin or whatever? You'll be surprised. People will help. All right. Thank you so much. I'm just going to edit this right before the ending. I really appreciate you tuning in today. I hope this helps a little bit. Rational preparedness versus panic. Okay, that's where we got to be thinking with this, folks. If you have any questions down there, please comment. If you have any suggestions, please comment. And if this is helpful, please, I need you to subscribe. I'm really trying to grow the channel, but the only way that I can get my videos out to other people is if you give me subscribes and likes. It costs you absolutely nothing to do so. I'm not going to be harassing you or selling you or anything, but it helps me to get my videos out to other people, so it's very, very much appreciated. Thank you all for tuning in. Please stay safe out there. Until next time, this is Sarge.